This episode of the Brilliance plus Passion podcast is brought to you by Groundhog Day is an event, not a business strategy. Are you ready to finally solve those pesky issues that keep holding back your business success and never seem to go away? Embrace the power of the spring formula that unearths the issues and opportunities burrowed beneath the surface, and grow your business so you thrive from your intersection of your brilliance and your passion. Claim your copy today at www.thegroundhogbook.com. Welcome to the Brilliance plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey. I am your host, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. I'm here with Princess Alessandra Francesca, who is part of our feline support staff. Here at the Brilliance plus Passion project, we highlight people who make the world a better place by being part of it and their contributions to it. And I'm delighted today to connect with Tina Karagulian, who is a facilitator who helps people bring out their creativity and empowerment. She facilitates your creativity and empowerment. She's a counselor, sound healer, artist, collage facilitator, and Kundalini Yoga instructor, etc., 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 etc. Not to mention a painter, among other things. So I'm actually going to let her tell you about some of this stuff. Let's get started. Tina, I'm so honored to have you here today. I know you've been part of our Everything podcasting community for a while, and it's great to be able to meet as many people in there directly as possible, and I'm glad you're one of them.
I'm so grateful that you invited me and so grateful to be here, and I'm very appreciative that you offer this venue for so many people to share their gifts with the world.
All right, so first question, and for those of you who follow, you know we have a 10-question format. How does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and the world at large?
Well, Adam, I hold space and I offer truths that awaken someone's voice and empowerment. So I'm listening for their truths. And this often happens during people's inner transformation, their awakenings, or even life transitions. So many of us have focused so much on what others believe or what is expected of them that they often never fully accept who they are. So I'm all about you trusting your inner guidance and knowing yourselves better. And, you know, we've heard a lot about consent and communication in our world, like asking for consent and improving communication, working better and more compassionately with others. And so I feel like in my small way of helping you get to know yourself better, that it'll ripple out in our communities naturally. So self-love, helping individuals thrive, will naturally help relationships, families, communities.
Yeah, but didn't you hear that literally any form of self-love is extreme narcissism, according to that article on Scary Mommy?
Well, I think sometimes if you haven't done it enough, you need to kind of pendulum in one direction. And then
I was making a point there, and you're picking up on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to find your balance. I mean, some people don't know how to have any empathy at all, and that is the concern. But if you have an empathic nature, but you haven't really developed some aspects of your life that really you need to do your work on this earth more, then that's just giving a little bit more of an attention, a big bright light on where am I not taking care of something in me so that I can help someone down the road.
All right, so you do a lot of stuff. So I'm going to ask you to tell me in your own words, what is it that you actually do?
Basically, I look at it as a body embodiment practices, whole body experiences to support you during your transformation. So it could be a group class like yoga, which is Kundalini Yoga, which For those of you who don't know it, they focus more on compared to other yogas. You're really looking at more meditative practices, eye gaze, help bringing energy up the chakra system to help relax the mind, which we all need help with. So meditation, breath, body stretches, sound healing to support your body and mind to stretch, release the past, and integrate, making more room for the true you. I can also do some collage classes, which I've done for like almost 30 years now, as a tool to open and unstuck your creativity. So some people don't realize that we're all creative beings. You know, when you make a meal, you're creative, right? But sometimes there are parts of us that we shut down because of messages we've learned along the way that we can't get outside the box. So a collage has been like this one size fits all, but just helps you break open your writing, your other creative passions in a more, visceral way. And it also takes something out of your body so you can see it. So you can see what's happening inside of you. Other theme classes like body wisdom, gut and goosebumps to learn what your unique yeses and nos are, which is different for Adam and different for me. Like, what does your body say when something's a hell yes for you, right? For example.
Yeah.
Inner child classes to help you nurture and heal triggers that affect your life right now. I don't care who you are. People are still triggered a lot out there in the world right now. And if you have a big reaction to something that's way more than the situation warrants, it might be something from the past that needs some tenderness, compassion, redirection back to you. So, and I do these one-on-one truth clarity sessions that are not just my truths. I'm holding space for you to listen to what your real truths are. Dream exploration, tapping acupressure points to the body to release trauma, untrap words from the past, practice speaking your full and wise truths aloud to rewire your brain, all of these things. And I'll kind of mix it up depending on who you are and what you need from week to week to empower you to bring more creativity, joy, and meaning to your life.
I love all that stuff. So, what are a few of the frequently asked questions you get from people who are discovering more about what it is you do?
Well, I think in general, people are mostly asking in their lives, who am I? What's my purpose or calling? And how can I live my life more fully? Right? Very general, generic questions, right? But
like I have some questions for Princess Alessandra here. Like, for example, who's a pretty girl? Are you a pretty girl? Are you a kitty?
And you know what? We often need to hear these things ourselves. Like, who are you? What do you need? It's actually a really great question on any part of your, your level. Like, what do you need to feel nurtured and loved? And, just simple things like, do you need to go take a shower, feel the water rushing over your head? Do you need to be outside in nature, feeling the rush of the wind through your face? I mean, basic things like that.
Yeah. What are a few questions you wish people would ask?
What is my anxiety, depression, body, heart, intuition really trying to tell me? Because sometimes there's some truths in there and it's often tangled. So it'd be really fun for people to go coming in saying, hey, I want to be curious and explore this. Another one might be, how can I inspire more creativity, joy, and meaning in my life? And then what gold or strengths will I discover after an awakening or dark night of the soul?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty deep.
So we can go deep too.
So it's going to be pretty abrupt when we shift gears here and have some fun discovering a few things that will help our listeners get to know you better. So first of all, what would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
Well, most people know that I love to sing, and I love to sing all music of all kinds and spontaneously harmonize whenever I can. But what many people don't know is that one time when I was in a choir, I was like one of 4 people that day. It wasn't a big choir and we were singing it. When I began to sing, it felt like 10 more voices were coming out of my mouth at the same time. The sound was so full and so peaceful and amazing. And I was so excited to be part of it. And afterwards, someone from across the room came to me and said, Hey, y'all, sounded so good. It sounded like a full choir. I can't believe it was only four of you. And what I knew to be true is that it was the presence of angels that often join me when I sing.
Wow.
And I love that. I love being part of that. And so I know there's a lot of earth angels who anchored their 10 voices as well. And I like being part of people who want to bring that to the world.
Yeah. What do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
Well, I hope people say that Tina brings peace and an inviting space for me to learn about myself. And when she speaks truths, even hard truths, I feel her compassion and love for my well-being.
Wow. Okay. If you could go back in time and change one thing you've done, one thing you've experienced, one thing that's happened, what would it be and why?
You know, many times I wished I could change times that I missed the red flag about a situation or maybe a relationship that maybe I didn't see that, you know, that's why I teach that yes and no class, because there were some things that I missed along the way about, was this really good for me to continue in this situation? But, you know, as, you know, after a while now, I really feel much more loving to my younger self. And I realize that regrets really don't help. I mean, it's good to have the wisdom. So I realized that even if it took a while and I didn't learn something initially fast enough, whatever that means, it made me be the best me I am now. And I can learn and understand what it's like when someone has been stuck in a situation way longer than they needed to. So I think I have more compassion because of that.
Yeah, I don't think I've met anybody who has not been stuck in something or not aware of something as soon as they could have been. And
Definitely.
I think part of some of the changes we're seeing in our society, and I mentioned this on both my podcasts actually, is that think about I'm not sure exactly what age range you fall into, nor am I asking unless you want to volunteer. But think
I'm
about
infinite. No, just kidding.
you're infinite. So so think about folks who are millennials, Gen Zers, and downward, the
I
newer
can't ever
generation starting to
remember
come
what
over.
these categories mean either.
I don't
But
remember what they all are. I just know the millennials began around 1980, and since I was born a few years before that, I'm kind of like pre-millennial, millennial-ish, sort of
I'm
like
definitely
millennial.
pre-millennial.
But I'm absolutely Gen X, so they tell me. At any
Okay.
rate, you think about, we hear about these lazy millennials. All they care about is themselves and me, 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 me. No, 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 no. Here's what you have. Your millennial generation was the first to consistently have access to the internet once the internet became a valuable resource portal. It had enough on it.
Right.
Therefore, they are the first to have ready access to information that can enable them to spot patterns and resonances that may or may not serve them, and to be able to question those things,
Yes.
identify different ways of going about things, and seek the support they need. That didn't really exist the same way with the generations
No,
that went before.
I'm in between. I'm sandwiched between maybe the pre-computer generation. I
Yeah,
started learning the computer, so I'm kind of in between
yeah.
both. Yeah.
Right, right. But you remember it was a lot different when you were growing up, the level of access you had then versus the level
Right.
of access
Right.
that you have now to learning things. And
Totally.
so because of this revolution of democratization of information dissemination, you see so much cycle breaking. You see so
Yes.
much research. You see so much change in society, and you see that the idea of, well, that's the way we've always done it. Well, what the hell does that mean? It means somehow, despite that, you're still here.
Right.
That's
Right.
all that. That's all that
I do
demonstrates.
think some systems are needing to be broken to make
Yeah,
way for the new, and some things are like yogic principles have been around forever for a reason, because they take you back to your essence.
yeah.
That's what I'm looking at. But there's plenty of systems that are just broken and don't need to continue, and so it's finding that balance, finding what's right for you.
Okay. So speaking of finding things, what famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet, and what question would you have for them if you had the opportunity?
Okay, I couldn't answer just one. You know that. So I have my goofy answer and then my deeper answer. So
Okay, give me both.
all right. So Sandra Bullock is like one of my all-time favorite comedians. She's just amazing. She's like Dick Van Dyke. The woman can do physical humor like no one can. So I would probably ask her, would you teach me to do physical humor and silly character mannerisms in a scene in one of your movies? I want to channel my inner Sandra.
Okay.
And there are many women artists, spiritual teachers, too many to name, who have really shared their gifts and love with the world. So I would love to just, spend a whole afternoon with a bunch of them. But if I had to pick one, it would definitely be Jesus. And I know he's had many misrepresentations over the years. Just to put that out there.
Yeah,
Yeah. But so it's risky to even mention him, but I do really
No, it's not.
feel like he's like a personal friend to me. And I would thank him for walking alongside me. He makes me laugh. And I think he shows me what a kind and tender male presence truly can be in our world, like what a divine masculine looks like within our world. And he cheers me on through difficult moments and lessons in my life. And he supports my voice, my joys, my unique path. So I would ask him, what will our world look like in 20 years? Will love and compassion increase on earth to a point where it would be like breathing, something everyone does automatically? And I would say, what do you want us to know now in this day and age that's different than all of the, past interpretations of you? And what jokes do you have for us?
Yeah. Well, I like to say, if I were to make a spreadsheet of all the answers we've gotten to that question through the Brilliance Plus Passion Project, Jesus would be number one with a bullet.
Really?
I bet you about half the people have said Jesus. And I myself have said I had to leave the church to find Jesus. He was there all along. It was just all that man-made crap was in the way. And,
totally. And that's what he's often said to me.
So. Yeah. And when folks say, WWJD, what would Jesus do? I like to remind them that going into the temple and beating the shit out of people for throwing money around, consorting with prostitutes, and gulping wine are three of the possibilities.
Yes. And he, like you said before, he was into breaking systems that were not authentic and loving.
Yeah. In his day, he would have been accused of fake news.
Totally. Complete.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
Well, it takes great courage to be fully you. And when I've had a hard time, I've had to learn how to do this, by the way. I've had to learn to offer more love and tenderness and compassion to myself. And sometimes asking my spirit team to help me do that. So I've had to redirect from, that we're so tempted to blame ourselves or blame someone outside of us, but instead to have the ability to initially go, what's happening with me? To come right in and to be more loving. But it also means asking for help when you need it, and saying, I don't have all the answers, spirit team. I'm kind of like, I'm at my end here. I have no clue. Can you open my consciousness, my awareness to something that my mind can't even fathom at this point? And I've had some painful times where I've had to unhook a deeply rooted pattern. You're talking about breaking systems, right? We carry so many intergenerationally from our family lines and from our collective society. And so to unhook that can hurt. It can really feel like a lot of pain is happening. And many times I've heard from my spirit team that you got to feel some of it as we're pulling it out, but we're going to take the bulk of it for you. So if you can see it in that perspective, as you're going through it, you might have to cry a little, you might have to feel a little of the pain, but to know that it's moving out, that really helps.
Precisely. I could not agree more. So I know you have a couple invitations for our audience, which I'm going to share in a minute. But in general, and this is the final question, what is one action you want our listeners to take as soon as they finish listening to this within the next minute or so?
Just take any step toward your growth and your joy or your creativity, whether it's signing up for a yoga or creativity class, taking a risk in one way about learning something new, maybe something you've always wanted to know, or
Right.
experiment with some kind of different meditation practice. You might have to try a few before you find one that really clicks for you. Something to help relax your mind and go into your inner stillness, which is beyond the senses, which is beyond the fears and the anxieties. It's something like it's like deep water underneath you. So whatever you feel nudged to do, just pick one. Just pick one. Take some action to know and love yourself more. That self-love is the way to go.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to display a couple links on the video version of this for those of you who are checking this out on the companion YouTube channel. However, my best advice to you is to simply go to our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com to find these. So here's the first link. I'll leave it up while I describe this, and then I'll put up the second link. What Tina is offering for you are 2 free things, one of which is a short breath video that strengthens your lungs and calms you. And the other is a full yoga set for your heart. So there's one link, and then here's the other. They're both YouTube links. And if you visit this on your website and go down to the section where it has a guest invitation, you'll be able to see them both there. So I don't have to even attempt to read out the youtube.com/watch?V equals blah, 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 equals XY, ZABC, QRZ. All right. So with all that, Tina Karagulian, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, in education.
It's such an honor for me. And again, I thank you so much for creating this opportunity for so many of us to share our gifts.
Yeah, and Alessandra here is shedding like you wouldn't believe. It's, all right.
Thank you, Princess.
You bet. Say bye, Alessandra. All right.
Take care.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.